the pit lane, which means Galatasaray is now leading. Just now, it's everything is happening just now.
It's a very busy place. So we've got 4 or 5 in, and we had a clash out on the track in front of the commentary position here.
Yes, and the Rangers did the pit stop as well. So it's now that everything happens. It's now that they really have to push. It's now that the race is taking place. Even though if it looks a little bit messy to you, it's now that the drivers have free room in front of them, that they really have to push to give the best out of themselves to make sure they're going to make a difference right now when everybody does the pit stop. And now we saw AS Roma in front of us passing, and Corinthians will still be behind them. So we won't see too many changes in positions when they're all back together on track.
But of course the leader at the moment is Galatasaray by dint of not making a pit stop. Had been running in 3rd place, but Corinthians now shown in 2nd place, some 7.5 seconds behind Galatasaray. And then we've got Anderlecht there with Craig Dolby, the young British driver. He's currently in 3rd place. He hasn't made a pit stop. And neither has Seville, who started from the pit road, Sevilla, and in 5th place Porto. They have yet to make a stop. But the car which is the best of those who stopped, who of course is the man who led early on. That's AC Milan. AC Milan, yeah. AC Milan is in 6th place. So some changes in the pit stops, because Liverpool FC, Bruce, has dropped down to 9th.
Okay, so AC Milan is in front of Liverpool, theoretically, at the moment, but all the cars in front of them still have to pit. So we might see AC Milan leading. Now we have Beijing fighting with Roma probably, or I'm not so sure about who's behind him, but Beijing is there and AC Milan is behind him. So Beijing is leading.
Yes, Beijing made the best of the pit stops. It must have. Those boys, congratulations to them. They made a very slick pit stop and catapulted ahead of Liverpool FC and AC Milan.
So virtually Beijing is the first car which has done a pit stop, because in front of him Galatasaray, who's currently leaders, and Corinthians, who are in 2nd spot, still have to make their pit stop. So we've got Galatasaray leading, Corinthians 2nd, but they haven't made their pit stop, and the first car behind them which have made a pit stop, it's Beijing, followed by Milan and Liverpool. So that's our order. It's Beijing, Milan, Liverpool.
So pit stops really scrambled those 3 initial leaders around, with Beijing now in 3rd place, but that will soon change, and we expect Galatasaray to make their pit stop fairly soon.
But the window is still quite long for the pit stop, so if he decided to go with good tyres and that he's lapping quite quickly, he just has to carry on, try to lap as fast as he can. But actually, his last lap is 25.6, which is not so great.
And I noticed the fastest lap of the race has gone to AS Roma. Actually, it's changed now to Beijing. It's really happening quickly at 23.6 on those fresh tyres. It just really indicates how much extra speed you pick up with a set of new tyres, Bruce.
Yes, 123, which is a 1.5 seconds quicker than the laps they were doing before. Galatasaray stopped, and they're now back on track in 3rd position. But let's wait for an extra lap. Actually, no, they're behind Milan, but they're in front of Liverpool. So basically what happened, I think Galatasaray did a pit stop, but then AC Milan managed to overtake them on the track. But Galatasaray is in front of Liverpool, so Galatasaray is probably running currently 4th at the moment. Corinthians are leading, but Corinthians haven't made their pit stop yet.
Yeah, I am pondering a little bit what's happened to Liverpool. Obviously, they were certainly the fastest car in the opening few laps of the race before the pit stops, and maybe he's not so happy with the 2nd set of tyres, because they're pretty close from Michelin, aren't they? But sometimes you get one that isn't just quite as good a set as the previous one.
Well, Liverpool's last lap is a 123.9, so that's a good lap, and I think they just did have a very bad pit stop, and that's where he lost everything.
Yeah, and there he is now, as we have a car, it appears.
Oh, Sevilla.
Yeah.
Sevilla, just as an information, Sevilla was in front of Porto. Sevilla was running in 6th position without doing the pit stop, but he was doing a very good race indeed, but apparently he has a problem, maybe due to the puncture.
Yes, due to that puncture that really all went wrong on the warm-up lap. So Corinthians with Pizzonia now, he's in some clear air, he's trying to get his head down for some good laps. but certainly not as quick as some of the cars behind him, Bruce.
Yes, Beijing 123.5 on the last lap, so he's actually the quickest car on track. He lapped in 123.6 and then again 123.5. It's extremely fast. Milan is quite quick as well with a 123.7 that took 2/10 away. Galatasaray is struggling in those last few laps, and I think Liverpool might make a move on Galatasaray.
And then in 6th place, Flamengo, and the local car from AS Roma currently in 7th place. And everyone has made a pit stop now, except the car on your screen as it goes into the pit. So this will be the last of the pit stops, or the scheduled pit stops at least. And we go on board into the pits. This is the driver's eye view here. All the boys will be waiting at the ready. He's towards the end of the pits. And there he is on the pit speed limiter as he stops now on his mark. There the tyres come off. They've practiced this in the garage back at home. And
that's a pretty good pit stop. They've made a change on the front flaps. They've made a change on the front wing, probably adding some more to get rid of the understeer, but that's not a very good pit stop. He goes on new tyres, but he's rejoining very far back.
Yeah, he's certainly at least 8th now, so disappointment for Pizzonia. There's the Liverpool car, the initial leader, and he's trying to challenge Galatasaray now.
And the order now is as it should be, because everybody has pitted. We've got Beijing leading, followed by AC Milan, then Galatasaray doing a good last lap. Galatasaray posting his best lap time so far. Then Liverpool, Flamengo, AS Roma, who hasn't been able to make a move on Flamengo yet.
Car 16 may be in trouble. The FC Porto car, the team manager, has been asked to go to race control. We're not sure what that's all about, but usually it's a car has committed some misdemeanor out on the track. And the gap now 1.7 seconds to 22 minutes or so remaining. We're just about halfway through this race at the moment here at Vallelunga.
And Beijing has done a fantastic job. They were stuck into the traffic behind Liverpool and AC Milan, and he made a stop at the right time, and he pushed really hard when he counted, and now he's leading.
Yeah, the driver, Davide Rigon, Italian driver. And Davide, he won the very first inaugural Superleague Formula race at Donington Park. He won the second of the 2 races at Zolder, and has been consistent in the other events, which means that he is in the lead of the championship and will certainly pull away, because his nearest rival in the championship going into this event was PSV Eindhoven, and they're down in 11th place at the moment with Jelmer Berman, the driver. So this is looking very good for Beijing.
Yes, indeed, and AC Milan, if they want to keep chances open for the championship, they have to really push. He has to keep on pushing. He cannot follow him, because we're having the times on the screen, and we can see that he's about 3/10 slower every lap, but he knows he has to push. He cannot give up on that one if he wants to keep his chances of winning the championship open.
Yeah, I'm impressed by this kid Rigon, because earlier this season he was just racing a Ferrari GT car. He has single-seater experience from the previous year, racing mainly in Italy in the Italian Formula 3000 Championship, but he's certainly come on strong in these cars. Probably the biggest surprise of all amongst all these drivers. Some of them very established, of course, but some of them quite new, like Rigon.
Yes, he won the Italian 3000 Championship not last year, but the year before.
Yeah.
And his driving style, which is a 3000 style driving style, suits this car very well. Yeah, I saw him testing here in the winter. We came and we did a Formula 3000 test since September 2007, and he was extremely fast, and his driving style really suits that car, so it wasn't so much of a surprise for me. But as you said, he's not very well known, but he's doing very, very well. He drives very well indeed.
Here's his battle with Flamengo, with AS Roma right behind, and Galatasaray also tucked in, and bit of a sleeper there, going well in 7th place, the Glasgow Rangers car of Ryan DL, who's been racing out in the States in the Champ Car Series last year. Champ Car Series, of course, no more, the merger with IndyCar.
Yeah, it's a pretty good job for the Glasgow Rangers.
Yep.
Yesterday when we were testing